everyone, welcome to my podcast. Today we're going to talk about the best way to learn language according to researches. So let's start. First, learning a language is not just learning a new skill. It's about being another person. For example, me, I know Kurdish and English. So I'm two persons. For example, when I go to England or any English country, I have no problem because I know the language and I can fit to their society. For example, I came to Kurdistan and I'm an English one. I know Kurdish, so I'm a person in Kurdish society. So I'm two persons. How many languages do you know is the amount of people that you are. For example, you know five. You are five people because you can fit into five society. And let's start. Today, we're going to talk about an article by a media.com who has made it because of finding out what people want to learn about English. The most efficient ways, I meant. So let's start. The article that I have has started with some questions. For example, what's the difference between learning the first language and the second one? Does age matter in language learning? What are the most efficient ways of learning languages? And does tell you the difference about them? So let's start. First of all, we're starting by what is the difference between the first one and the second one. I mean the language, for the one who don't know. The first language is, for example, we have a kid who has just been born. He doesn't know to speak. He doesn't know how to speak. So until he gets older, for example, like 1 year or 12 months, 11 months, like that, she or he started by saying one syllable words. For example, like ma and da or like those. And when she grew older, she started making that one syllable words into multi-syllable words. For example, like daya, ma, baba, like those. And she or he talks about it and wants to speak to achieve something. For example, she's thirsty. She's talking about it and she say and she's pointing to. She's trying to speak and tell her that she wants water and she's thirsty. But the second language is different. For example, me and I know Kurdish. I want to learn English. So I'm gonna start learning by reading textbooks, going to courses, listening to English, reading English, writing English, like those. I want to achieve it for something in the older life. For example, most of us start learning the second language in adulthood. And then let's get back to the first language because it's called the mother language. For example, I'm Kurdish. I learned Kurdish first to communicate with each other because if you don't communicate, I don't get what I want. That's the reason we are going to learn the mother language known as the first language of human. So that's why the first language is very important. And that's why. That's the difference I just told you. So let's move on. We have the second question. It says, does age matter in learning languages? So let's start. For example, I'm young. I'm 14, for example, and I talk about learning a language. For example, I want to learn English. But learning a language is a skill that needs time and practice. Because if I don't have time, I can't practice. If I can't practice, I cannot improve. If I cannot improve, I cannot learn. So that's why you need time and practice. And you should do, this is a very good tip. You should do the learning in a way that you enjoy. For example, I love listening. I'm gonna listen. I love listening and watching. So I'm gonna go and look at a movie without subtitles. I'm looking at the scenes and the speeches they told me. So that's very good for me. And I can help it and improve my English. For example, there's someone who loves reading. They can read an English book or an English book about grammars in English. Or for example, he loves talking. You could try to talk to other people or try to talk to yourself in the mirror and speak English, not the language you know. And does age matter? Of course, because if I'm young, I have time and my mind is clear, so I can listen more, I can talk more, I can write more, I can read more. I have time and my mind isn't busy and I have more interested in things. But unfortunately, people nowadays are learning the second languages in adulthood. That's very bad because he is busy, he has a family, and he doesn't have much time to practice and listen or read or write. So it's a slow learner when you're in adulthood. So age always matters. Let's talk about the most efficient ways to learn a language. First of all, here's a wonderful tip. Learn language in the way that you enjoy. For example, myself, I enjoy reading and listening. So I watch movie without subtitle for my listening, and I read books because I want to improve my reading. So that's why you should do it in an enjoyable way. If you don't do it in an enjoyable way, you will lose passion for it. If you lose passion in something, you think it's not important or it's not interesting. So you should be passionate and do it in an enjoyable way. For example, if you have a guy who loves reading, so he's just gonna read books about grammar and read books in English, not in Kurdish or any other languages. And let's talk about something else. Here are the most efficient way to learn a language. First of all, we have listening, reading, writing, knowing the meaning, pronunciation of how to pronounce a word, and we have writing. So that's all of them, the most efficient ones. We have ways, for example, and you can go to English courses because they are very important actually. And let's talk about it, why they are efficient. For example, I'm a good listener. I'm gonna listen to English podcasts or English teachers in online or in courses, and I'm gonna learn from it. And if I not do it in a passionate way or enjoyable way, I'll lose passion. And if I lose passion, I will lose interest in it. If I lose interest, I cannot learn it and I don't find it important for me. So the last rule is the most efficient ways are to always do it in an enjoyable way. And thank you for listening to me. I hope you learn from it. Bye.